Hello! As you remember in our previous video, we were talking about how to reduce the cost in our Google Cloud environment. And we were telling that we were working with our different cloudrun environments and we were able to reduce, as you can see here, all the expenses that we had. But okay, there were a moment that we explained that there is a way when we set up our cloudrun, when we are telling if we want to use our cloudrun CPU all time connected to our cloudrun, or we want only to connect the CPU when we want to use that. And as you can see here on the screen, this is the block when it says here, for example, in this case, cloudrun €1.53 when it's connected all the time. And here in this case, with 0.36 when it's only connected the CPU to our cloudrun when we're using this service. And we're telling that it's cheaper when we go to this environment where we only connect the CPU in case that we want to use that. But this is not always true, and I want to make this video because I forget to say that before. In what cases this is not true? This is not true in one of the cases. In the case that we want to use the CPU all time. Imagine that we have an application that all time there is something that is always, let's say, attacking our cloudrun services. Always the CPU is up and running. To show that, I'm going to show you this blog that I found in internet that is called Google Cloudrun Monthly Pricing Breakdown 2024. I will share the link in the video description, where we can see, depends of the tier where we are located, we have different prices. For example, always allocated in tier 1, we have a price of 0.000180 vCPUs per second. And here when we go to on demand, that is the case that we have here, because in this case it's only on demand, we have a price of 240. In this case, 30-40% more expensive on demand than always allocated. But then this price is more expensive, but at the end the result is cheaper. And in this case, price is cheaper, but the result is more expensive. And why is that? Because in our case, our application is not all the time being used. If we go down here in this example, in case of 1 vCPU and 0.5 gigs of RAM, the price that we're going to pay for always allocated in tier 1 is 49.40 euros, so $50, no euros, all time allocated. And if we want to do the same, because the calculation that they made here is that they're going to use 2.6 million seconds, that is more or less 30.5 days, more or less what is a month. So if all the time cloudrun is up and running, then the price that we're going to pay for 1 vCPU and 0.5 gigs is $49. But if we go to on demand, the one that is cheaper for us, we go to $65.65, the same tier. So if we go now not only to 1 vCPU and 0.5, we want to 1 vCPU and 1 RAM, you can see from 52 to 68. And now 1 vCPU and 2 gigs of RAM, we jump from 57 to 75. So on demand is always more expensive. And in the last case, if we go from 2 vCPUs and 2 gigs of RAM, we jump from 114 to 150. So it's almost 30-40% more expensive on demand than always allocated. But this is in this case. In our case, this is not like that, because we have an application that is only used when the people, remember that this application is Claymora, is when the people is logging in the application and they want to tell, okay, I want to register my timing. So I go, in this case, I go to Claymora, and when I go to Claymora, I said, okay, I want to register my time. And this is the reason, because we go to on demand, we jump here in this case from 1.5 per day, and when we only use on our request, we jump to 0.38, more or less 5 times less. So with that, what I want to tell you, always check how is your application and always compare. Here we did this comparison. We check, okay, let's go to on demand, and we saw the amount that we spent. In this blog, they made the sample in the other way around. It's an application that all the time is up and running, and then you decide. I hope that you enjoy, and see you next video.
Do you think your project infrastructure is well set and maintained? We know for sure there is always room for improvement. If you are uncertain where to begin, let's first do an audit of what you already have. We will review your setup from every angle: performance, cost, security, high availability, automation, and provide you with a detailed roadmap of which direction your infrastructure should go, generate concrete tasks for you to implement, or even take on your infra entirely, if you let us, of course.